spoke directly to the point about America being built on Christian principles.
Right.
It was, yeah.
Did you see the I think it was an HBO special, the John Adams HBO special several years ago?
You're embarrassing me. Everybody keeps telling me I need to see it, and I keep saying I will, but I haven't stepped out to do it yet.
I've only seen it in piecemeal, but the parts that I've seen are fairly impressive.
That's what I've heard. I've heard it's really good.
Yeah.
Oh man. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow night, and Patrick too. And
yeah, I think we're gonna need to talk about the location, because we've already got more people who have pre-registered than we had actually attend last year. So I think we're gonna have to talk about where we're gonna put all these people. And
so one of the things, did you happen to go out there to work on Caleb's project at all?
I haven't. Actually, he called me today and asked me if I or my troop would be available, and I never got back to him because he called me as I was getting off work.
The field up, the fields up there that were, were chest high grass.
Right.
They're mowed.
Okay.
Now, the deal is that if there was a way that we could make sure that happened, I don't know when they were mowed, and I don't know who did it, but if we can talk to them about, and they were in far better shape than what I thought they would be in trying to walk around on them and stuff.
Okay.
And the idea being that if we could, if that thing was mowed, and it was mowed all the way over to that prayer octagon.
Okay.
So I mean, it was just somebody completely done that. If that was done, but around the time that we were there, or at least it had been sort of cleaned up and all mowed and raked into some places, we could do a lot of the events up there and stretch out the living accommodations to both of those fields down below.
I was actually thinking the exact opposite. I was thinking if we put all the living accommodations up the road, and then we're down in where the zip line is, where the climbing wall is, where the fire pit is, and that's where we have all our activities. I was thinking that would be a better way to arrange it.
Except for, I agree with you, except for just one thing, and maybe we can work around that, and that is there are no toilets up there.
I wonder what it costs to rent a toilet. Well,
we have some money.
Yeah. Well, we'll discuss it tomorrow when we meet.
Yep.
I want to come up with some milestones for us to meet as well, so that we can try to keep ourselves honest.
I know.
Hey, Josh, it's Tom Tremblay. I've been kind of listening for the last few minutes.
We didn't say anything embarrassing, did we?
Not yet. Hey, what are you guys talking about currently?
We're talking currently about the patrol rally that the Channel Islands District organized last year. The Mike represents the Oxnard troop. I represent Camarillo, and then we have a representative from the Santa Paula troop, Patrick Gardner. So the three of us are meeting to discuss next year's patrol rally in 2018, and kind of put together some of the preliminary steps we need to do, and lessons learned from our efforts from last year.
Okay. Yeah, because I know that Adam Langborg, he really wants to be on that. On the camping committee. So
yeah,
I pretty much gave him the go ahead on that.
Yeah, and he did let me know that. We're keeping this one separate for this year, because I think there's enough for the camping committee to do with regards to summer adventure. We're helping out possibly with Teresa's warrior games, and then I've got a couple other initiatives that I'd like to talk to him about. So I didn't want to throw the patrol rally on him, but who knows? Michael and I might decide that it absolutely needs to be moved over for the next year. So.
Yeah, I actually on that camping committee, I wouldn't mind sitting in. I'm wearing enough hats right now,
Yeah, I
but
understand.
I wouldn't mind sitting in just so that I could get an understanding of what's going on.
Sure.
Kind of like yourself, you're a man of many hats, and I understand that. So
I think as this organization grows, I think that's going to be a reoccurring theme for all the leaders is men and women of many hats.
yeah, absolutely.
However, Mike is always wise enough to remind us that there is a limit, and we need to be able to respect that limit in what we're doing. So.
Yeah, we're gonna have to let God act here sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. Most of the time.
Got to get over this savior complex thing. So.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Mike, I got another question for you. Have you been receiving the stuff from our two candidates for the Freedom Award?
Yep, I got the initial things, a number of weeks ago from John Hearing, and then I got this other stuff yesterday and today.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
when I'm done here with this thing tonight, then I'm got to turn my attention to doing that and making that happen for your boys.
okay, yeah, I've been monitoring the emails. There's enough chefs in the kitchen, but I'm CC'd on most of the emails, so I've been monitoring those as they go through. So
Yep,
I was just making sure that everybody was aware of what's going on.
Yeah, if they say where is that bum, you can tell them. Well, he's hearing you. So
Okay.
But I should be able to focus attention now that that's done. My cat's not sick. My wife is now gone. That's good. In a good way.
You should be aware that this roundtable is currently being recorded. So
blackmail is an option.
I've gotten used to over the years knowing whatever I say is going to get back to her, so it's okay.
All right. Are those are Tom's two freedom and Caleb the only freedoms we have going on in the Southern California area right now?
It's all that I've heard of.
Okay.
I don't want to toot Kip's horn, but it sure is nice having him around.
It is. He is great.
Yeah, he's well versed in what's going on, so it helps me out a ton. So I just throw it all at him and let him sort it out.
Okay. Welcome everybody to the August. Are we really in August? No, actually it says July. Oh, look at that. I messed it up. It should say August of 2017. This is what happens when you copy and paste from the last month and just try to keep it easy by changing the things that need to be changed. That should say August. The August 2017 Southern California Area Roundtable. My name is Joshua Sanders. I am the roundtable organizer. So for those of you guys who are on the line, welcome. Let's go ahead and get started. Can we, Mike? Can I get you to pray us in?
Actually, tonight I'm going to ask that somebody else do it since I'm going to be.
Okay.
I'm going to be teaching here. I'm going to ask that somebody pray for me too.
Tom, can we get you to pray us in?
Yeah, sure thing.
Thanks.
Dear Lord, we just come before you tonight. We just ask you to guide us, help us, keep us focused. I do pray for Mike that you would give him wisdom as he speaks to us, that the knowledge that he imparts that we would take to our heart, Lord. We thank you so much for all that you do for us. We thank you for this program. Father, we thank you so much for you giving us your son. We thank you for all the blessings that you bestow upon us. Just help guide us in this year. Help keep away the doubts in our programs, Lord. Don't let the devil get a foothold. That you would just keep us full of your Holy Spirit, that we would be able to act and walk worthy in your name. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much. All right. Well, for those of you guys who are just jumping in, I think I see a few new people on. This is Trail Life USA, and while we are a Christian organization, we do like to honor the country that we had the distinct blessing of being born into. So normally, if we were meeting in person, we'd have some bright-eyed child jump up with the flag, and we'd do a flag salute. But in lieu of that, I'd like to share the following quote with you, and this is a quote from John Quincy Adams. And John Quincy Adams, as our sixth president, this was actually while he was in Congress after his time as president. When asked why he never seemed discouraged or depressed over certain of his efforts in Congress to help bring about the official abolition of slavery, John Quincy Adams replied, "Duty is ours, the results are God's." The application there, of course, goes right into what Tom was saying in his prayer. When all we have to do when it comes to doubts is remember that God's given us a duty. We all have a call in our life. What is that call, and how are we going to manage that call? But the results are God's, and it's up to Him to make the results happen. So, anyways, let's start with some introductions. Actually, before we get into the area team introductions, why don't we start off with the attendees? We'll start from the top. Looks like. Well, actually, before we do anyone on the list, is there anybody that just dialed in via phone and not on the website? Because I don't see them on the line. So is there anybody just on the phone? Nobody? Okay.
That's good since it's a visual presentation today.
Right. Yeah. Let's start with Anthony. Why don't you introduce yourself and let us know where you're from and what's your position?
Hi, I'm in California at the Troop 212, and I presently am teacher for Mountain Lions.
All right, Mountain Lion Trail Guide. Welcome. Very nice to have you. Appreciate it.
Where's Troop 212?
That's San Gabriel. Is it San Gabriel?
San Gabriel, California. Yeah.
I can't believe I actually memorized where 212 is. All right, I've been looking at these numbers for way too long. All right, well, thank you, Anthony. Welcome. Appreciate you jumping on. Brian, want to introduce yourself and let us know where you're from? No, Brian. How about Jason?
Yeah, I'm the charter organization rep for the newly formed 2514 up in Wrightwood.
Cool. Welcome, Jason. How are the new troop organization tasks coming?
We're established as far as core leadership, and we are going to begin meeting on September 11th.
Wow, awesome.
So we're good to go.
Are you excited?
Yeah, we're excited. We've actually had a better turnout as far as some of the positions than we were expecting. So it's working out pretty well.
Awesome. Well, welcome. Let's see, who else? Jerry? How about Jerry?
Yeah, I'm here. If you can hear me,
I can hear you.
2514.
Cool. Jerry, what is your position in 2514?
Chairperson.
Committee chair. All right, very cool. Very well, sir. Cool. All right, who's next? John, Troop 1311. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and let us know what your position is?
Hey, good evening, guys. My name is John Johnson, and we just formed Troop 1314 up in Lake Arrowhead, and I'm the troop master.
Awesome. Welcome.
Mike Higginbotham. I serve with you down at Port Hueneme at the chapel service.
Oh, so he used to be out there at Calvary Chapel, Oxnard as well, right?
Yep, correct. I moved up to Arrowhead 2 years ago.
Well, that is awesome. It is really nice to hear your voice again.
Yep. Looking forward to it.
Okay, looks like I have a Kristen McCullough. Kristen, you want to introduce yourself? Okay.
Chris, we can't hear you, although we noticed that we got a couple of people who are sending in messages, so they may not have microphones or something, I guess.
Yeah, it could be. There is a chat window if anybody wants to monitor the chat window. All right. Leslie, I doubt that's Leslie. It's probably Mike McGarahan, right?
Oh man, I tell you, Josh, you're sharp. You know, that's your troop master and regional director and all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, I just can't pull any over on you. Yeah, Mike McGarahan, troop master, troop 281.
Awesome. Thanks for joining, Mike, or Leslie.
Yeah, she's here listening too, so keep it clean, guys.
Absolutely. Walking worthy. There's is there an echo? Is anyone else hearing that echo?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just going to annoy me.
Probably somebody out there, if you would turn your mic off while you're not speaking.
The only one that's not muted is Matt. So Matt, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and then mute your mic.
Yeah, Matt Costantino, Troop 4673.
Cool. And what's your position?
I'm the ranger there.
Cool. Very cool. Thank you for joining in.
Hey, you got to make sure you say that it's 4673 Hermosa Beach. The original 4673, by the way.
Amen to that, brother Tom.
All right.
Hey, Josh, this is Grant Harris. I'm on online also, committee chair for Troop 1199.
Yay! We got someone from my troop in. Welcome, Grant. Thank you for dialing in. Appreciate it.
You got it.
Patrick, I think you're last. I don't think we've missed anybody else. Why don't you introduce yourself?
But not least. This is Patrick Carter, Troop Master of 3304 in Santa Paula. And I think that in between the beginning and the end of introductions, my amazing committee chair also joined on at the top of the list there, Chris Weinkoff.
I am seeing
Chris. You there, Chris?
Yeah, all right. Well, he's unmuted. Say hi, Chris. All right, well, he's here in spirit. Okay.
Hey, Josh. I should probably introduce myself. I'm on the phone. I'm not on the computer. This is Keith Luna from Troop 4110 in Santa Clarita.
That's I think Keith, you're the one we're hearing the.
Oh, is that where the echo's coming?
I think maybe. Am I hearing it anymore? Nope, not hearing it anymore. So, all right, Keith, you're welcome to jump on if you have a question, but it's got to last only 5 seconds, and then we'll move on from you. Okay.
Excellent.
I'm just kidding. Whatever you got, we'll work with the technical issues. All right. So moving on. Don't want to. Well, many of you have already seen this, but I just want to do some introductions to the area team. John Herring, you're not on the phone call yet, are you? Okay.
I believe for growing up and might be able to do this kind of on our own, although I know he's still interested. So.
Yeah, no, he did say he was going to be dialing in via phone. So, so John Herring, for those of you guys who don't know, is our acting point man. He's located up in Washington, and he's the regional team lead. But since we don't have currently a point man in Southern California, he's taken over that role. It is acting though, because he does need to get somebody. I think he's got the acting title for like 3 different areas or something like that. So we want to keep that in prayer and be on the lookout for a man who can kind of or woman. I think it's actually open for a lady as well. But we want to be on the lookout for somebody who can really step in and kind of direct the activities of the area team. So, advancement chairman Mike. Everybody's heard Mike's voice on the line. Mike Hickenbotham, the area advancement chair. Mike, why don't you go ahead and really quickly describe what the area advancement chairman is?
The primary function on this is to be able to guide people through their Freedom Award process, and as they come up for it. So right now it's not a huge job, although we got a couple of candidates now that have to deal with. and help out. And this starts pretty much at the point that you need to get approval of your project until the board is completed.
Okay. Area chaplain. We are still looking for an area chaplain. So this is. I figured this would actually be a no-brainer. But the area chaplain is an individual we're looking for. That would be willing to contact once a month. Once a day, just make a call or make an email to one of the area troops. Contact their charter reg rep, pray for them, be able to be a helpful ear, and ultimately be a chaplain for the troops from the area's perspective. There are a couple other responsibilities as well, but it's kind of it's a position that's necessary, especially I think for a Christian organization. So this does not have to be a registered leader for your troop. So if you are looking, you're thinking, just a gentleman maybe in your troop, or excuse me, in your church who has a heart for young men and the ministry, have them contact one of us so that we can get them plugged in and we can get them going. So I don't think Teresa is on, but Teresa is our area chartering organization coach. My understanding is that the primary goal of Teresa is to serve when the chartering process happens once a year. Teresa is the individual to contact, because she's apparently done it more than everybody and their brother. So Teresa is definitely the person you want to call to if you're having difficulties getting your charter rechartered. We do still need a membership chair and a new troop organizer. And all right, so this is the training and support staff. We have, for those of you guys, look at that, I don't know how to use Excel properly. The direct support advisor, or it's also called the direct service advisor, are roles that are assigned to individuals who are familiar with maybe scouting in general, or the Trail Life program in general, or quite honestly, just someone who can be a helpful ear to the program leaders and the committee chairs and quite honestly, the rest of the leaders for the troop. You can see the list of names there. The beaches in Orange County, Jim Martin is assigned to that district. So if you're in the Orange County area or the beaches of LA, that's the guy you need to talk to if you have any questions. The Channel Islands district, Mike Hickabotham and I jointly share that district, and we split that district up. We are still looking at Los Angeles and Inland Empire. I don't believe there's anybody currently assigned to that area. So if you have if you have a name or somebody that you'd like to, who thinks that, again, this is an individual who is willing to go find the answers for somebody that has a question. It does not need to be somebody that is an absolute expert on the issues and can immediately throw a question down or throw an answer down when somebody has a question. So be thinking about that. And you see there in South Coast, that's San Diego area, and going out towards the desert, Jerry Quasick as well. So all right. And then training chairman. The training chairman's purpose would be for equip training, youth equip training, any type of training activities we might have. It would be for that. And so we are looking for that position to be filled as well. So. All right, announcements. Anybody gonna sing the song? Anybody? Nobody? Announcements. I can't sing it when I say it. I mean, somebody's got to sing it.
What a horrible way to die. What a horrible way to die. What a horrible way to be talked to death. What a horrible way to die.
There you go.
Announcements.
Yeah, I think it breaks the rules if I say the word and then I got to sing the song. So.
Yeah, that.
All right, real quick, the first one I'd like to announce is the Southern California Camping Committee that is currently in the process of being formed. You can see the various names there. The original goal was to find 2 people from each district. You can see we've got one in Channel Islands that we're still looking to fill, and one in Los Angeles that we're still looking to fill. But from South Coast, Greg Hosberg, Inland Empire, Nate Hunter. I'm representing the Channel Islands. Teresa Waning from South Coast. Josh Potter from Inland Empire. Javier Eck from Los Angeles. Brian McCormick from Beaches at Orange. And Adam Langborn from Beaches at Orange as well. So the initial mandate of this committee is going to be designing and putting on a 2018 area Southern California summer adventure. And we will most likely be assisting with the Warrior Games in February as well. So, as other opportunities come up, who knows? Maybe a winter camp, something for Woodland Trails. Something as it comes up. That's what this committee is going to be designed to do. So be on the lookout for I won't say. I almost said the word. Be on the lookout for tidbits of information that will be leaking out of this committee. I guess that's the best way I can say it. All right. Any questions on the camping committee? Nothing? All right. Training. So for those of you guys who are new, I'm thinking 2514. I'm thinking John at 1314. So for training, training with your leaders is obviously one of the most important things that you can really do to get them started. There are some fast start training resources that are available. The first one, obviously, if you go into Troop Track and you go to the support tab on the top and go to National Resources, you'll see a variable plethora of documents and things that you can share. Some of those might it might actually get a little overwhelming, information overload, but there's quite a bit of good information in there. You do have to sort through it a little bit, but definitely point your leaders at all that information and get them going. But then Trail Life has published a series of short videos that explain the various aspects of the program as well. You can access it from Trail Life Connect there. You log in. It's a little tricky to find because they're in the process of changing their system over, and that includes where these videos are located. But you got to click on your account drop down, and then you click on My Account, and then you scroll over on the right, and you'll see that there's a training dashboard, and you'll see all the videos over there. Some of them are quite good. Definitely for a new leader that's coming on, where you're thinking, well, one of the most valuable things that you can offer a new leader is reassurance that what they're doing is the correct thing. Because many of the times they come in and they all have a deer in the headlight look, and you want them to be able to feel like what they're doing is the correct thing. So definitely take a look at those videos, and again, some of them are quite good. Once you get past Fast Start, there is some basic training that is available. A base camp is what it's called. This is local training that can be provided by area volunteers. Most likely it'll be one of your direct service advisors or someone else. That is who you request it through, is through one of either your direct service advisor, or if you're in one of the districts that do not have a DSA, you would request it directly from John. But what you do is it's 1 to 4 hours. It'll be over a go-to meeting like we're doing now. And it gives you a little bit more solid training moving forward, a little bit better than what those videos give you. Okay, and then after you're done with basic training, the next step for your leaders is to attend equip training. Now, I believe we're still working on getting an equip date set up. But it is designed for your direct contact unit leaders. Now, there's nothing saying that your committee chairs and your committee members can't can't attend this as well. But it's really designed for the direct contact unit leaders, so that it gives them all the really nuts and bolts of how the program is supposed to work. And it's an entire weekend course, so you'll be camping out just like the boys camp out in a patrol setting. And you get to experience the way the boys do a weekend camp out instead of just someone telling you how it's done. So highly recommend it. I did it. It was last year, I think. Was it last year or was it?
It's been a year and a half.
Yeah, it's been a year and a half. So anyways, definitely when that one hits the radar, definitely hit that one up, because super valuable training. So.
Hey, Josh, let me say one thing about that. While it is truly focused on trying to make sure that the direct contact leaders can do a decent job with the guys in the outdoors, what we found is that we have a lot of guys in some of the troops who really don't have hardly any outdoor experience.
Mhm.
And this is real basic stuff, and it's not in a wilderness setting or anything like that. It's just getting these guys so that there's some basic outdoor kinds of things that they know how to do. How to sleep in a tent and all that kind of stuff. And those people who are not currently direct contact leaders, you get comfortable with that and go, oh, you know what? I bet I could do this.
Mhm.
And then I'm hopeful that it would be very good for recruiting people who are generally interested in the program into becoming direct contact leaders.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Any questions on training?
When will that be announced?
Are you specifically the equip training?
Correct.
Who's speaking?
This is Andrew Parker from 1314.
Oh, hey, Andrew. How's it going?
Sorry.
No worries. Right now, there's no announced date for this yet. We're still looking, I think, to get some of the different pieces put together. But honestly, I don't have an answer for you. But if you like, I'll ask John Herring when I talk to him next, and he'll probably say whenever we get the adults to put it on, we'll have it. So that's ultimately what we're waiting for. Everybody's busy and everybody's trying to fit in a very crowded schedule. So it should be happening soon. The question is
it announced like on the website, or do you guys email us directly?
So yeah, that's a great question. So we do announce on the Facebook page for those of you guys who are not members of the for those of you guys, number one, who do Facebook. I know there's quite a number of us that don't. I am not one of them. But for those of you guys that do Facebook, we announce it on the Southern California Facebook page. But then we do also have an email mailing list that will send everything out. So for did anybody not get the roundtable email that went out earlier this evening? Okay. So basically, anytime anything's being announced, it's going to be announced via email, and it's going to be announced via the Facebook page as well. So.
Perfect.
All right. Okay. Then, of course, training. This is the roundtable training that you're at right now. It is the second Tuesday of every month at 8:30. We're on a rotating training schedule, so this month's is specific to Woodland Trail, obviously. Next month's going to be specific to committee members. Jerry Kwasik will be coming on teaching us something about committee members and something that's specific to the committee members. And then September. Actually, boy, this is one of those copy and paste issues as well. That should say October. We'll focus on the Navigator Adventure Program leaders. So this month we are in August, the last time I checked. So August is Woodland Trail, September is committee member, and October is the Navigator Adventure Program leaders. So, the idea for this was not just to be a gigantic info dump where one leader from each troop comes on. So, recommend for especially you troop masters and rangers, I recommend you try to get as many of your trail guides on here as possible, because as they have questions, we'll have an opportunity at the end of the meeting here. As they have questions, we want to hear them. We want to be able to give an answer to them. So that's really where the value of this program comes in. So okay, upcoming events. All right, Mike, go ahead.
Guys, if you missed this one, just shame on every one of you. I'm not even sure weather should be a factor for you. If the weather's looking bad, like down here on the coast, we get this green bloom that stays, for half the year, and we get that marine layer in. You need to drive it just a couple miles, get away from that, and see this. 2 weeks from yesterday, at 9:04 in the morning here, it's about 3 minutes later in San Diego. Everything happens. We're going to have a solar eclipse in Southern California area here. It's going to be about 70% coverage, not what you're seeing on the screen. Listen, guys, I'm excited enough about this. I'm flying back to Nebraska so I can see it this way. It is really a once-in-a-lifetime experience. The last time we had a solar eclipse in the United States was in 1979, and it only had a little bit up in the Oregon area, up in that area. And then before that, when it's anything similar to this going across the country, at least, It's like 1966. It is, you know, this is something that you and your kids all really need to see. So Monday morning, August 21st, approximately 9:04, about an hour and 10 minutes later, hour 10, hour and 15 minutes later, it will be at its maximum extent at 70%. And then another hour, 10, hour and 15 minutes later, it will be back to normal. You can get some glass stuff for it. You got to remember, you know, let your kids know, hey, it's cool, but you can't be looking directly at it unless you get glasses. There's been some news things here lately. I'll give you a clue. If you can find glasses in Walmart or in 7-Eleven, both of those places are certified distributors of certified glasses and stuff. They should be good if you get them there. Online, there's some places that will give, you know, tell you, you know, what kinds are good and that kind of that thing. But really take advantage of this. There is nothing like this. I mean, what does the scripture say? The heavens declare the glory of God. And when people see this, they do one of two things. They either stand there with their mouth open, or they break out in applause and screaming and shouting when this happens. So it's really a neat thing. Any of you who are as old as me and remember doing this as a kid back in the 60s when it came through, it's just something you never forget.
Okay, so shame on all of us if we don't see this. You heard it right here, and it was recorded on the presentation. So we will have all of Michael's shame if we don't go to this. So I should see everybody posting on Facebook or somewhere to make sure that this is taking place. So definitely a pretty cool event, and I'll be watching it myself. So okay, thanks, Mike. Southern California Warrior Games, please put this on your troops' calendar. This is kind of one of the marquee events for Southern California. Everybody loves it. It's President's Day weekend 2018. It will be down in the Camp Pendleton area, down the Oceanside. I guess that's South Camp Pendleton. Teresa Waning is putting this on. You'd see her email address down below, sandiegotraillife@gmail.com. I believe that there are activities for the woodlands as well. I don't remember what they call it. It's like paint splat instead of paintball or something like that. So it's a little bit less high impact. So there's activities for your woodlands all the way up to your navigators and adventurers, and as well as dads, so you can see the kid getting ready to looks like go to battle with his dad there. A lot of fun. The boys really enjoy it. Definitely put it on your list. It got rained out, or at least many of us actually backed out last year because it was when that torrential winter storm came down into the area. And many of us missed it because we blinked. But there was a couple of troops that ended up going down there, and they just had a great time.
It was awesome. It didn't rain at all.
Yeah. Thank you, Tom. Why don't you rub that one in just a little bit more? All right. So Channel Islands District Patrol Rally. This was an event that the Channel Islands District put on last year. It's up in Ojai, California. This year it's going to be April 27th through the 29th. The cost is still to be determined, but however, we're going to try to keep it as close to last year's rate as possible, which was $25 a person for the weekend rate. That was if you were camping 1 or 2 nights. And then if you were just showing up for Saturday to do the activities on Saturday, it was $18 a person. This event is only going to be open for registered mountain lion, navigator, and adventurer youth trailmen and adult leaders. Last year's activities, you can see there at the bottom, it was a lot of fun. We had the kids running all over the place. There was a big lashing race that the boys were doing. We did a red rope challenge where you had to do, I think it's like, I can't remember, I think it's like 20 knots in 1 minute. There was a first aid relay. There was compass and navigation, the whole 9 yards. It's basically, for those of you who are familiar with the scouting tradition, this is camporee basically. You can think of it as Patrol Olympics. A lot of fun. However, we've only had 3 troops pre-register their boys with us. We'd really like anybody who even thinks they're going to be going to pre-register their troop and to vote for your favorite theme. There's a little bit of a theme survey as well. The reason we like to pre-register is we're going to have to be really fiddling around with where we're going to be putting everybody. We want to make sure that we have enough room for everybody. So even if we're just getting it's not written in stone, but we just like a number for how many boys and adults you think might be there for the event. So you can see the URL there down there at the bottom, https:// hey, hold on one second, guys. Unplug that, please. Guys, I'm in my garage. Hold on one second. Apparently somebody plugged in my air compressor.
Okay, guys, while he's off, I got a joke for you. Has to do with that space stuff. You can tell I'm into it. Here we go. It also has to do with little boys. Copernicus's parents might deserve some of the credit for his great discovery. See, apparently at the age of 12, they said to him, Copernicus, young man, when are you going to realize that the world does not revolve around you? Oh, good thing everybody's muted. I know you're laughing.
Sorry about that, everybody. This is why we don't allow children to just immediately plug in an air compressor without thinking about what's going on. So sorry about that.
Hey, Josh.
Yeah.
I have a quick question for you. I know we had talked about in our leadership meeting about pre-registering for this. I'm not sure if we ever did it. Are we one of those 3 troops or are we not?
That's a great question. I think I've gotten Santa Paula. I had 4110. Keith Luna has pre-registered, and Teresa has registered. So no, I have not gotten a registration from either 4673 Hermosa Beach or Huntington Beach. So we would love to have everybody down there, but yeah, no. At this point, those are the only 3 that we've gotten.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Joshua.
Yeah.
This is Patrick. Could I ask about the age limit? I thought that last year the patrols were limited to second-year mountain lions, that is, rising navigators. Do you intend to be open to both years?
Yeah, that's a good point. That was just me abbreviating on the slide here, but that is a good point. Rising mountain lion, rising navigators, so second-year mountain lions only. So this would not be for a first-year mountain lion. Again, a lot of these details still need to be worked out. We actually have a meeting with the Channel Islands. Patrick and Mike and myself are going to be meeting tomorrow to kind of try to hash out some of these details. But yeah, if we're going based on what it was last year, it was rising navigators, second-year mountain lions only.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Thank you. Okay. Any questions moving forward? Make sure I don't have any more noisemakers going off in my garage. All right. All right. So this is an event that I am still trying to organize. I'm looking for a couple people to jump in and say they're willing to help out. Just like we talked about Equip, that is the training for the adult leaders. They do have an Equip Youth that is designed for your navigator and adventure leaders, like your patrol leaders, your first officers, or really any navigator adventure that's interested in pursuing leadership. If your troop is interested in this and would like to help me organize this, my email address is down there at the bottom. Please get in touch with me. What I'm really looking for is some older boys who maybe who are getting ready to age out and would be interested in helping teach some of the classes that we're having. They quite honestly have a little bit more authenticity to some of these younger boys than even we do. So we'd really like to have this be a more youth-led event versus having a bunch of adults running it. So if your troop is interested, again, I have all the information. Would love to work with you on this. Just need a couple volunteers to jump in. We are looking at doing this possibly maybe mid-October. Still trying to work out some of the dates, but like I said, if you're interested, I'd love to work with you on this and get us going. All right.
Josh, one thing on that.
Yeah.
One thing on that mid-October date. We have the Rocket Camp on the 15th of October, so just keep that in mind.
Oh, Rockstock.
Yeah, Rocktober.
Oh, Rocktober, right? Rockstock is November. Right? Yeah, So Rocktober. Yep. Good call. Yeah, we'll have to play around with that as. Like I said, it's just a proposed date. I haven't really set anything in stone yet. I'm more looking for, who's gonna. We need a couple people to help out. So. Cool. All right. All right, John Hearing, are you online yet? Nothing? Okay. Let me real quick go through this for John. The Trail Ready Leadership Conferences. We had Trail Ready Leadership Conferences last year. It was, I think, a pretty successful event. It was out there in Riverside. What they're looking to do is to break it up into mini TRLCs. I can say that quickly. In the Western region, because a lot of us are so spread out, they would like to see them broken into smaller ones. You can see all the details there. What they're really looking for is a chairman to be willing to kind of organize this, find a church that can host it. They'll pull in some keynote address speakers from the national. It might be in person or via GoToMeeting. Multiple tracks of learning. It was a pretty cool conference. So they're hoping to duplicate that for the next year. So if you are available to handle the one there in Orange County, and you can. All right, who unmuted? All right. Hi, who just joined?
John, sorry I'm running late. Church council went really long.
John, why don't you go ahead and pick up with Trail Ready Leadership Conferences?
Oh. Good evening. This is John Herring. I'm your Axe Point man. Hold on a second. Let me get my headset going. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, good evening. John Herring, your Acting Point man. As Joshua was introducing, there is an interest next year in trying to repeat the Trail Ready Leadership Conferences like we did this year across the country. We want to try something slightly different. Rather than having them be a road show from the home office, and the home office really coming out and bringing a lot of the content, and then the locals kind of filling in the gap, we want to make these more locally owned and operated things. And so here in the West Coast, we're trying to offer up, we want to try to do 7 different TRLCs. So we're going to do a couple of different ones, with the idea being that nobody has to drive super far. We don't want to make them so they're a really major long drive. Just a Saturday event, it's on Saturdays, and not try to make it a 2-dayer. If somebody wants to come in and crash in the fellowship hall, maybe make that available to them. So, but that's the sort of thing we're trying to do. We're looking for somebody in Southern California to host, and we're looking at a church to host it. The preference would be that it's somewhere fairly centrally located. Much as I love Teresa, we don't want to go to San Diego. And much as I love you, Joshua, we don't want to go all the way out to the Santa Barbara area. So something a little more centrally located than that. So if anybody wants to volunteer, I would love to hear from them.
I'm hearing crickets, so I'll go ahead and move forward to the next slide. How's that sound?
Okay, cool.
Regional roundup.
Yeah, we had a regional roundup. We just had our Pacific West regional roundup this last week. We had a great turnout. We had 102 kids coming from California, Northern Cal, all the way up to Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. For 2018, the Alaska guides have said they would like to host a roundup, and they're inviting everybody on the Pacific Coast to come on up and join them in Alaska. Tentatively, 4 to 5 days up in Alaska, particularly right near the Anchorage area in July of next year. I don't have any more specifics other than that. There's a lot of logistics to work out here and a lot of details to be worked on, but kind of start penciling that in. Now, that may not be an event you want to take your Wilderness Trails guys to. The roundup we had up in Washington State was an event where we invited everybody from Wilderness Trails to adventures. But if you think about your adventures, that would be a really pretty spectacular super adventure to take them on. Take them to Alaska for a regional roundup where they're going to get together with trailmen all over the West Coast. So that's something to kind of start plugging into your planning for that. Again, I don't know any more details other than what I said there. Danny Brooks problems on, Danny said he would gladly have you help him on that. He'd love to have your assistance.
And I'm going to love doing that. It's there's just so much in that area.
I told him he's got to feed us all salmon while we're up there. So, any questions about Roundup? And of course, then I don't know if that's on this slide, but 2019, they have started tentative planning for a national, to be determined what they're going to call it. I call it a trail gathering. It would be a national gathering of all the trailmen. And then at the same time, basically the last couple of days of it, it would also be a national convention. Now, so that makes kind of stringent. They've been scrambling around looking for camps to hold it on. They're not having any luck. Most camps are pretty well full up. What they are talking about is basically making use of a college or a university facility, like a Christian college. We've been talking to some Christian colleges in Tennessee and Kentucky, as well as the Liberty University back in Virginia. I don't think we're going to get them come further west than that, just because the concentration of trail life is back there. But that's kind of the plan of attack. So that's also something I started thinking about for 2019. That would be in the July time frame. It may not be feasible for whole troops to go, but in which case one of the things we will talk about doing is, as an area, see if we can put together an area troop, if you want to call it that, to go back and go to that event back in the back east. So, and again, it may not be something you want to take your wilderness trails to, but it may be something worth thinking about taking your adventures to, as again, a super adventure sort of thing.
Cool. All right. Does anybody have any questions with regards to Roundup or the 2019 convention?
Can't call it a jamboree, by the way, because that's trademarked by the Boy Scouts. Sorry.
Okay. All right. So everyone can see the map of trail life in Southern California. We do have two brand new troops that we want to welcome. It's Troop 2514 in Wrightwood, and Troop 1314 that's over in Twin Peaks. John, I think you said it was Lake Arrowhead, but isn't it Twin Peaks, or am I misreading?
Twin Peaks, which is Lake Arrowhead area, at least as far as I'm concerned, it is. It's close enough.
All right.
Actually, I would almost call that the Big Bear region, but that's really way off the map. So.
Okay. So welcome.
Lake Arrowhead, Twin Peaks, it's the same.
It's all the same thing.
Okay.
Okay. Well, welcome, guys. Appreciate you guys jumping on and joining us on this trail. I think you're really going to have quite a good time hanging out with the boys and kind of guiding them into their next phases of manhood. We are Southern California area is a pretty helpful area. There's a lot of volunteers that are willing to help you out, especially from a remote basis to answer questions you might have. So the old adage, "There's no such thing as a stupid question," definitely applies with us. We are happy to answer any and all questions that you have. So if you have anything you need, please let us know.
Awesome, thank you.
We also have, for those of you guys who don't know, we do have a Vista pre-charter that just popped up on the map down there in the San Diego area, Oceanside actually. They just completed their pre-charter process, and they are getting their core leadership together. And then we have an Escondido pre-charter that John, that's a new one, right? They're just getting going.
Yeah, I haven't seen the paperwork on it, but I gather there's a new Catholic parish there in Escondido that's going to launch a troop. So at least talking about it and moving forward on it. So that's a good thing. We're starting to get some new troops popping up. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think I did the math, and we're up to 23. And it'll be 23 when the Vista pre-charter comes online. So it's 22 troops. We're growing. So praise God. If anybody knows the Las Vegas pre-charter, let's see, who is Kathy Goddard in Las Vegas. If anybody knows her, feel free to give her a contact, because she's been in a pre-charter state, I think, for quite some time. They might need some assistance.
I've been in contact with Kathy, and this is a lesson learned, I think, for everybody on the phone call. Kathy launched a pre-charter without actually talking to her church. Then she got to her church and discovered her church is really not all that interested in trail life. So now she's basically been church shopping, trying to find another church interested in a trail life troop, and not having any real particular connection. She hasn't had any massive luck doing that. I think the lesson learned is that the Trail Life Troop really has to spark after and has to pre-charter after really solid discussions with church leadership and the pastor and the elders and the church board or whatever to make sure the church is really behind this ministry. So.
Yeah, it makes it hard if you don't have that. Absolutely. Okay, so that's the status of Trail Life in Southern California. So, all right, help needed. We already talked about this, but John does a great job for us as our acting point man, but he really needs to shed some of that responsibility. So, if you guys could please talk to your charter org representatives, or for those of you who are on the line who are the COR for your troop, we need to nominate someone for the area. It should not be an existing troop master. So. Again, it's a gentleman who's interested in seeing men grow, and like to see to get somebody into that position. We are looking for additional DSAs for the various districts that we have. If you know of anybody that can help us out, we'd definitely appreciate it. And as well as we're looking for an area chaplain, membership chairman, and training chairman. So. John, anything else you want to add to the help needed, the help wanted section of the meeting?
I actually am glad to report we do have a new point man for Oregon. I'm gonna lose the Oregon Trail point man job to Bryce Davis. He's taken that over, and Frank Kanamura over in Hawaii has tentatively, at least I think I got his concurrence, that he's going to step up and be the point man for Hawaii. So then I'm just down to being point man for 3 areas.
Well, since you're getting all this help, maybe you don't need to step down as Southern California's trailman.
No, I really do. I really do.
Okay. All right. Well, let's. I don't want to take any more time. Let's move on to the Woodland Trail portion of the training. So, Mike, you ready for me to share your screen?
Not quite yet. Almost. Okay. So most of you can probably see me out there then. Before we get going, we're gonna do a quick word of prayer. Lord, please be with me, Father. As we've already said, we're not expecting perfect knowledge. We just are looking for some additional knowledge. Ask you, Lord, that those things that need to go out and help people tonight, that they will. I also want to get sort of into the campfire mode here, so we can get a little bit serious. And this is something you can take to your next campfire. I'm an old Navy guy, so this is an old Navy story or a question. Why do Swedish warships have barcodes on the hull? I really am going to ask anybody who knows this to go ahead and tell me. I'm listening at crickets. So the reason Swedish warships have barcodes on their hulls is so that when they return to port, they can Scandinavian. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Okay. All right, go ahead. Yeah, shift me over there. Let's see what we can do.
Right.
Folks, here's what I'm planning on doing tonight. One of the things that I've noticed in my troop and some other places is that folks are kind of, as much as talk about.
Mike,
yes.
hold on 1 second. I just want to make sure. Can everybody see? For those of you guys who dialed in, can everybody see Mike's page right now? It says it's his Troop Track log on.
Yep.
Or actually, I guess better to say, can anybody not see that right now?
Well, that would be Keith. Keith Luna can't see it because he's on the phone.
Right.
But
all right, go ahead. Go on, Mike.
There's 2 things I'm trying to do here tonight with this training on the Woodlands trails. The big thing is to let you see that you really can get to almost everything that there is out there by going through Troop Track. And for any of you who are uncomfortable with Troop Track, I want you to be able to walk along with me and see that there's nothing magic about it, and that it's simple enough that you really can get out there, and usually in a couple different ways. So I'm going to log in here on my Troop Track account. It'll take just a moment. There we go. Okay, and I've made this a little bigger than you would normally see it, but it's what I thought we ought to do here in order for you to get a better sense of it. So here's where you should probably open up to. This is the way. This is the leader pages. That's kind of the default out there, and you'll notice that there's a couple different things here. One, we just talked about that we got a new Woodlands Trail leader guide, Woodlands Trails helps, specifically some new life skills helps and heritage helps, along with some other things out here. If you ended up going out there to any of those, you probably get pretty much to the same place that I'm going to take you, but I'm going to kind of do it the formal way here for you. Underneath the leader pages over here, if you go to program, that's what's going to take you to whether it's Woodlands or whether it's going to be the Older Boys Adventures and Navigators and stuff. So we're going to go out here to the program. And under the program, as it expands out here, you're going to see that we've got the Woodlands Trail. So we're going to go to the Woodlands Trail. And underneath the Woodlands Trail, recently, there's been a tremendous amount of work done by National. You should have already received a lot of notifications either here or via emails. If you're involved with, you should be registered with the National Facebook page. There's stuff all over that. But this is how you can get to it at any time that you want to. You'll notice here that there's downloading this document. There's a Woodlands 2.0 resources. That's what this is going to be over here. And so I want you to see this page in particular, which gives an overview of the Woodlands Trail program. This is something that you can give to any other adult who's interested in it and talks about the very basics of what's involved with that. Again, I know that most of you have seen this, but a few of you may not be that comfortable with it. So this discusses all of these things here, the Sylvan Stars and the special awards and the basic programs and what's involved with it. We're going to go, though, since this was about Woodlands Trail here 2.0, we're going to go out there. It's going to take you here to the program documents. This is going to be an important page for tonight's, for the next few minutes here anyway. This is going to tell you exactly what has already been put out here and what hasn't been put out here. So I want you to see that, first of all, that the version 1.5, the old version, we'll go back and we'll see that in a minute. That is still available in an archive form if you need to go back and try to refer to anything there. So we'll be able to see that in a bit. But more importantly, for the new program here, is a leader guide that's already been published. We already took a look at this Woodlands Trail 2.0 form. That was the last one. Importantly, there's a detailed steps overview that says here are all of the requirements in all of the different areas. Here's another help, which is the family home activities. There is a lesson planner right now. This is one thing that has still not been published. The lesson planner is out there for you to plan your own lesson. And I know that a lot of people are looking for lessons that have already been done, and you may be able to use some of the 1.5 items to help you do that if you feel that you need to do that. But I can tell you that the steps overview here is a pretty darn good document and should give you an awful lot of ideas in conjunction with the helps documents that are down here. You'll see that the helps documents have virtually everything, gives you everything that you need with all kinds of stuff in it, with one exception. And John Hearing, I was going to ask you about this. In the values area, there's only 10 of 12 steps that are documented there, and I don't know if you happen to know about why the last two are not yet done.
They're reworking the Worthy Life program for Woodlands Trails. That's not complete. So that's the gaps you're seeing.
Okay.
At least I think, because I'm not looking at the screen right now, so I'm guessing, but if that's what I think you're aiming at, that's one of the problems.
Yeah, that's possible. There is a Worthy Life program document that's out there, but it may have something to do with why the last two values here aren't done. And just as importantly as what is done here, if you're still unsure and or your leaders are a little unsure and scared about, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Right here at the bottom, it says, here's the things that still need to be done. So there's a Woodlands Trail handbook for the trailman and his parents. That's going to be coming out. Remember, we've already said that there is a guide there for the Woodlands Trail leaders. There'd be an advancement trail step tracking poster. And the same thing, a patrol step tracking poster, and then the things for their lanyards so that they can individually do this. Remember, one of the big—
There's also a new spreadsheet that just somebody has already produced that actually allows you to do the tracking stuff. And one of the troop leaders already posted it up on the Facebook forum just yesterday, I think.
Yep, they sure did. I've got a copy of that for you all to see. That's out there as well. So these things are coming, and you'll notice there's no discussion about leaves here, and that's one of the things that's been very difficult. But these things down here will be very helpful, I know, logistically, for you all being able to track that. In the meantime, as John says, there are some other things a few things that are still out there that can help you. Okay, I'm going to. You can download each of these. I'm not going to go through the download process here because I've already done that. And you should still, I think, be able to see what I've got here. I put these in the orders that I wanted to show them to you. The first one here is the Woodlands Trail program that we already looked at. Let me ask you, those people that are out there, Josh and I took a look at this beforehand. Are you able to see this in reasonable fashion? Not necessarily read everything, because we have no time to read through anything, but I want you to be comfortable that this material is out there for you and it's easy to get to. Can you tell what this is in this display? I'm looking for feedback.
Yeah, I can see it fine, Mike.
Okay, good. So the Woodlands Trail Guide. Tell you what I'll do here. Let's go ahead and open this. The Woodlands Trail Guide. The vast majority of it is really basic program information about trail life. You'll see here we're talking about guiding principles and organization, the philosophy behind specifically Woodlands Trail philosophy here, and then goes into basic troop administration. Now, Chapter 5 talks about advancement and lays that out real clearly, I think, for most everybody. And then we go back into the basic things of troop administration, safety, and training. Okay, so that is going to be of some help, but maybe a little bit limited. So, whoops. The steps overview, I want to show you this. This is really going to be a big help, I think, and it lays things out very, very clearly. Here are the requirements. And it lays out over here per level with the numbers of branch pins that are required, the core steps, elective steps, and hit the trail activities. There's a discussion in here about how you can substitute some family home activities down here for one step or hit the trail per branch. And then it goes here into great detail about what is required and what the intention is. When I say great detail, some of you want great detail and some of you want general direction that will allow you to do great detail, and I'd say it's more the latter than the former. But it's a very, very good document and easy to read. Okay. Let me go down here and see. There was one other thing. Oh, by the way, here's my astronomy one. I just saw it. I missed it. Talked about it, including that. Okay. In each of those areas now, you've got helps, and we'll just pick the heritage helps here at the beginning. There's 10 different things in there, and there are 10 different documents that deal with each of these at each level. It gives you the general purpose and notes on this one. Talks about how it's going to flow through there, and then it's just all laid out. Now, it doesn't give you every single word to say, but it gives you everything that they really want to be able to talk to. And you'll notice that some of these things get pretty advanced, which is eventually what you want all your boys to be able to do. Tells you in each of those areas what it is that you want them to be able to finally leave with when they finish that particular branch at that level. And the idea is, as you recall, that you should be able to get through all of these branches each year. That's the ideal. And then do it a second time the following year. So if a boy was really into the achievement thing, that he could get Sylvan Star for each of these levels. The idea, though, is that whenever a boy comes in at the beginning of a year, he should be able to get through the whole basic program for that level, and then possibly help out the next year. Okay. Here's the create your own meeting planner. That hasn't changed. Well, that's not true. It did change here in July. I don't see where the exact difference is on this one. So it looks to me like this is exactly what was available before, if you needed to make, your own meeting, and most of you did. There's an entire list here of family home activities that go at each level in each branch. Very, very clearly laid out. Now, this is the form that John was talking about, that somebody from another troop just, I think it was the day before yesterday, the day before, built this thing. You print it front and back on a document.
Mike, you want to maximize
help.
it.
Yeah, let's see what I can do here. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. That's a little bit.
Yeah. So this is going to be able to help you. You can track this individually, or you can use it as a way, for your leaders to at least track it at a minimum, track their program as to when they're doing that. Some of you may get very inventive and be able to figure out a good way to make this work logistically best if you've got lots of little kids. Lots of the younger trailmen.
So Mike, this is John. Can I chime in for just quick? Oh, go ahead.
Absolutely. This is a group discussion.
I just wanted to ask, where will this be posted at so that we can get a hold of it?
This particular thing, there's a couple different ways that we can do this. I think Josh has seen this. Josh, can you put it out there in the Southern California files that you've got?
Trail Life Facebook.
We could easily put it on the Facebook page. That won't be a problem.
Yeah.
It's on the Trail Life USA Facebook forum. We'll try to make it available.
That's where I found it too.
And I want to interject a quick philosophical note here on this. So one of the things you're going to run into, and we've already seen and heard a little bit of pressure from parents, why can't my boy do more of these activities at home with me? Anybody want to hazard an answer to that question?
Because the idea would be we want these boys to be exposed to as many godly men and in the presence of their other trailmen as possible. We don't want them earning it at home.
Excellent. Yeah. We want them to do some of these things at home because some of these activities are family building activities. But we also, and the key point of the Trail Life recognition system is to create opportunities for these young men to get Christian mentoring by adult, mature Christian males who have signed that statement of faith. That's the objective. And so we are deliberately driving them to have to attend meetings and have to attend activities. That's the system.
Yep.
If you want to learn more about it, and you don't know about this, you want to hear more about it, you need to come to Equip Print.
Sometimes when those questions come up, if there's also an underlying thing where a parent in particular, although sometimes on a rare occasion, it's a young man himself, are really focused on achievement. And we certainly don't object to achievement. We want to be able to do that. That is not our measure of success in this program. And rushing through these and getting all of these done as quickly as possible is not what we're trying to get done here. So you have to deal with that one a little bit carefully. And the bigger problem maybe is if you don't have godly men that are willing to talk about some of these other things here and do that in your program, then that is a concern, and that's one you should take a careful look at, in my opinion. Okay, and then the last document that's currently out there, and it's also available on the site. It's not something you have to search for at all. Is this Worthy Life document? But I will tell you that it probably will be modified, as John says here, because this is a 2015 document, and so it will need to be it's being updated as he indicates right now. But it's out there as well. So that we're almost 10 minutes over time, but that's the basic thing I wanted to show you, is that all those things are actually out there. The only one that's difficult to find at all is that one tracker, and I wouldn't even call it difficult. We'll get that posted out there, and that's about it for me. I am particularly interested, though, in people who have specific questions that we can get back on.
I have a quick question for you. Where did you find that Worthy Life download?
So let's go. I think this is where we can find it here. If you go back out here to your regular Troop Track page, I'm going to go over here to Share, down to National Resources. Go down to the Woodlands Trail Program, and there's the Worthy Life for Woodlands Trail. That's where I found it. And all those other documents, all the other documents that I just showed you as well, are all available on this site right here as well.
One thing to remember is Worthy Life is one of the faith options. It's not the only one. If your church, your denominational church, happens to have an equivalent program they want to use as the faith option, that's perfectly okay to use that. There's Catholic versions that are specific. Lutheran churches have their own versions that are similar, that aren't quite the same thing as Worthy Life. Some churches may not have anything. So that's probably a good discussion to have with your pastor as to what program does he want to emphasize for the faith options for your various levels, Woodlands Trails, Navigators, Adventures.
Is the Pray program still one of the accepted programs?
Pray is accepted, but due to some issues with the home office, they will refuse to advertise it. Yet Pray is still an accepted thing, because if a congregation, a church leader decides he wants to use it, they use it. So the biggest issue with Pray boiled down to that Trail Life did not like the fact that they retained links on their website. If somebody was Buddhist and they wanted to go find a Buddhist program, they had a hyperlink that would take them off to a different site that offered a Buddhist program similar to Pray. And a couple of individuals in the home office objected to that and held their breath until they turned blue, and we have not been able to convince them to back off of that position. So,
okay.
All right, tried. Regional team leads only have a certain amount of authority, not total authority.
Yeah. we are all weak sinners. So, but anyway, all of these documents are available right here, back there, as well as an organized way here on all the rest of the programs as well. You do have to do a little bit of searching sometimes if you're looking for a particular document, but they are virtually all out here. And
one cautionary note: if you download it, go back regularly to look at it. For example, in January, the Guide to Safety and Health, basically Health and Safety Guide, basically was updated, and there's a lot of changes in it. And just last month, the Freedom Award catalog got updated and changed. And there's quite a few changes to that too.
You notice I've gone back here to the leader pages, and one of the things that the Home Office is good about is that generally announcing those changes, but it doesn't stay on here forever. So the Freedom Exchange course catalog, you see, shows that the update is available. That happened back in January, and it will fall off of here in a couple of months.
Another question?
Yes.
Are they going or when are the lesson plans? Do you have an ETA when lesson plans will actually be available?
I am sorry, you were breaking up. You're looking for an ETA for which document?
I believe it's lesson plans.
The lesson plans.
For Woodlands 2.0.
I don't know the answer to that. It's the last word I saw was it said in the fall.
Yeah, this is Andrew.
Already Andrew
14. I had the same question. I was looking through all the material as we're getting going here. Was just I saw the lesson plan document where you could fill in your own lesson plan. Is that the approach most troops have taken, or is there actually something that's going to be produced that we follow along with? That's the idea.
It's a little bit hard for me to say right now. Let me go back and show you something here, okay? We'll go back to the share, National Resources, down back to the Woodlands Trail Program. You'll notice the first item that's on here is an archive of the Woodlands Trail. I have not opened that up here. I'm trying to focus on the 2.0, but you may be able to find some old lesson plans in here that would be a good starting point. I don't recommend that you completely rely on. Double check with what the new guidance stuff is. Although there won't be a lot of change. A lot of this seems to be trying to get rid of the lead, which was really a hard thing to crack. So there'll be a lot of discussion about that. And then there is there's some more, somebody's gone in and done some good job with graphic arts, trying to make this more attractive to the employees and stuff that they're looking at.
Hey, Andrew, I think the answer to your question, at least from my perspective as a troop master, with my troop was yes, we did use the established lesson plans that were in 1.5, and we are just like I think a lot of troops looking forward to see what the 2.0 lesson plans look like. However, with the helps documents and the create your own lesson plan, they've given us the option to kind of to get us going if we want to go. However, correct me if I'm wrong, John or Mike. Nothing is precluding us going to 2.0. We can still backtrack to 1.5. Is that correct?
That's true. You can for a while, but once you start over, you're gonna have a very tough time going back because the leaves system does not translate to the new system. The only thing that's going to translate to the new system is if you have a completed branch, and that basically transfers over and continues forward. If you have partial completions on branches, there's no way to do that equivalent safety.
Okay.
So what do you do with the trailmen that have partial branches completed?
You're going to do the best you can, and if they are close, you try to wrap that branch up, Otherwise, you transition them over. I mean, the worst thing that happens is they basically earn their forest award in the second year, and in this upcoming year, they won't earn the Sylvan Stars. That's the worst thing that happens to them. So they still end up earning a forest award. They still earn roughly a branch a month. You know, there's no real harm that's done to them. So
The only thing that would affect would be the mountain lions that are trying to get their Timberline award. That's a big problem.
true. That's true, but they will have already earned their, if they do 7 months program, they'll have their mountain lion forest award. And then all they have to do is then work on Timberline.
Yeah, but don't you have to have Sylvan Stars to get your Timberline?
No,
You have to have-
not have to have Sylvan Stars. You have to have your mountain lion forest award.
Okay.
And a bunch of other things you got to do as part of the separately for the Timberline award.
Is that a new requirement that they don't have to have the stars, or is that an old requirement? Because I believe that the Timberline award required you to have the Sylvan Stars. Is that incorrect?
I think that's incorrect. I don't have it open in front of me, but
I'm actually
quite
looking at it right now.
Okay.
Was that the first award?
Yeah, forest award.
Yeah, I believe you're right that that's incorrect, actually. I believe you're correct. You're right. I'm wrong.
I was incorrect once, but I was mistaken.
Well played.
See, my bad jokes are almost as bad as Mike's.
The version 1.5 Timberline award, you did have to earn 7 Sylvan Stars, 1 from each branch. Now I don't know if that's changing for 2.0, but I'm looking at a boy in my troop track, and that was what you had to do.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. But I've been known to be wrong once already today. So.
Okay, is there any other questions for Mike or for John or anyone else with regards to Woodland Trail?
Hey, Mike, I don't know if this is a question / a comment about the lesson plans, but I've been going through the 2.0 material pretty extensively because we kicked off the new year last week. And the only thing that I was not able to find for transitioning over, because the helps documents are very good and we're kind of running our lessons off of those, is to hit the trail, which I haven't been able to find for 2.0 anywhere. And I got an email from the national office. I'd contacted them about it, and they said they're working on it. I don't know if anybody else has seen anything that I have not seen in regards to hit the trail for 2.0.
Remember, the hit the trail can be whatever you come up with. It simply needs to be a hit the trail that fits the theme of that branch. Now, there's no requirement you go do certain things, and that's a caveat to remember. These things are guidelines. They are not hard and fast requirements. If you need to modify them for local conditions, you can. Now, the things you can't change things like Freedom Award, and you can't change things like Timberline Award. Those are capstone awards. Those are not inside your turf. If you need to modify things locally, sticking with the philosophy of the way things are organized for the Woodlands Trails program, you've got that authority to do that.
Were you able to find in the old, did you look through the old 1.5 material? Did you find a bunch of hit the trail kinds of things there?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of them there, and we're thinking about falling back to some of the suggestions just because it gets us started with the ideas. So that's what I'm going with for now. But my understanding from the email I received is that they are going to come out with some new hit the trail suggestions to go with the updated curriculum.
Okay. Well, thank you.
But yeah,
hey, gentlemen, I need to drop off the phone. I'm very sorry, but I will look forward to talking to you guys next month.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sean.
God bless you guys. Bye-bye.
Okay. Any other questions for the program or Woodland Trail or heck, even Navigator Adventure? Anybody have any questions they'd like to throw at us? Okay. All right. Well, let me. Oh man,
Go ahead and take this back, my friend.
I'm about to, yeah. I'm gonna actually mute everybody else to see if I can't get rid of the can't get rid of that echo. Let me very quickly pray us all out. Heavenly Father, we just we come before you on bended knee, Lord, and we just we acknowledge that what we do is for you. What we do is for the advancement of your kingdom, for the discipleship of these boys that you've placed before us. We are eternally grateful for the opportunity, and we just ask that you would guide our hands, you would guide our lips, and guide our tongues, and guide our feet, Lord, that we would walk worthy in everything we do for this program. And we just we ask this in Jesus' name, Amen.
Amen.
Okay, everyone. Thank you very much. I will be on. I'll probably be the last one on this call. So if anybody has any further questions, I'm happy to answer them to the best of my ability. And if not, look forward to seeing a bunch of you guys next month. Next month is committee members. So please make sure you are getting as many of your committee members on the call as possible. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Josh.
Josh,
Thanks,
quick
Josh.
question.
Yeah.
Has anybody heard anything about the new tracking software?
The new tracking software, the last I heard, is they are now it's going to happen late fall because they don't want it to interfere with new member registration. So it's all going to be part of the new leader or the new trailman registration. It's all part of the same system. So that has now been pushed out a couple months so as not to interfere with start of troop operations.
Okay, awesome, perfect.
Yep.
That's kind of what I was worried about because I have a couple of families that want to sign up, and I wasn't sure if I should do it through Troop Track or wait or what. But I'm gonna go ahead and sign them up through Troop Track. Yeah.
That's my recommendation, and that's what we're going to be doing in my troop as well. So.
Yep.
Okay.
Cool. Anybody else?
Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you very much.
Hey, Josh, this is Mike.
Thanks, Josh. Take care.
Yep. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
I'm sure you already know this, so I just got to let you know somebody else saw it too. You got way more people today than I think we've ever had.
I agree. Yeah, that was our biggest turnout so far. So, praise God for that.
So maybe a little bit going there. So, okay.
I think too, Mike, that the factor is this new program rollout. A lot of the leaders are wanting to know what's going on with it, how it's going to work. I think this was a very good forum. I wish I would have had more of my trail guides from the Woodlands on here, but I do have my ranger on here, so that's a blessing. So
yep.
we may want to do this one more time and maybe spend the whole night just on this 2.0 program. It might not be a bad thing to do a go-to meeting besides the monthly meeting, but just a separate go-to meeting just to discuss this issue.
Yeah.
So if we were to do that though, it would be really helpful for me to be able to somehow get questions in advance.
Right.
To kind of reach. It's just it's just impossible to try to figure out what's going to come up and you hate to have somebody trying to look at that for a long period of time and then not be able to answer questions for them. So
yeah, it's awkward when you run this meeting from a go-to meeting perspective because as a presenter you're not getting quite the feedback that you would if it was a classroom. So yeah, I would agree with Mike to get the feedback pre the event.
Do you think that would be something that maybe we could do towards the end of October? Because our troop's starting up the last weekend of August. I don't know when you guys go back to full speed, but we'll be starting up the last weekend of August. That's really a meeting to get to know each other type meeting.
Right.
Our first meeting is the first meeting after Labor Day. That's really our first structured meat and potatoes meeting.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, at the beginning of October, after we've run the program or tried to run the program for 3 or 4 weeks, I think there'll be a lot more questions at that time.
Yeah, I'm happy to facilitate that for everybody. We just need to we'll send out an email and ask for feedback from everybody.
The other thing, of course, if the lesson plans come out, it'd be interesting to see if all the questions just fall off to almost.
Yeah.
Right.
But we don't know when those are coming. There's no word or anything on that, right?
So obviously that's a big question. You know, people are trying to, you know, pin that down. When will I see this? When will I see this? But I'm a little hesitant. You know, I mean, I don't know what the answer is, and we could try to push, national on that and all. But it's almost it's a comforting thing, but it's almost irrelevant. You got a program that you got to go with. You got to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions? I'm seeing Andrew and John still on the line. It looks like Matt and Chris have jumped off, but anybody else have any other questions?
No, thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Just wanted to see if I gleaned anything else.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys for joining. I think I heard somebody else jump on real fast.
Yeah, sorry. This is Andrew from 1314. This is my first time. I think John's as well participating in the forum. Is there a lot of dialogue with questions? Because I know we can extend our time with these meetings with you guys to pretty late if we got a lot of questions, or is that pretty quiet and you guys present and then they kind of just listen, or what's the typical?
We are hoping that you will break the cycle of quiet meetings and ask as many questions as you want. That is really the sole focus of these meetings. We could have easily sent out all this information in one big email blast, but we really want to have the give and take of questions as they come about. So seriously, if you got a question, let me. What is it?
Also, Andrew, one of the other things I think Josh is usually really good about this. He missed it tonight, I think, is that this is all recorded and available.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, I think there's like lots of information, that tons of resources. We printed them out and tried to tackle, the information, but just simple things like, the open house registration and then actually getting the ranger to, conduct the meetings. I think we may try to go to Riverside, has a pretty good program, I believe. So we may try to go down there and participate in their process on Sundays.
Yeah, 611 in Riverside's got a great program. Mike Wyant has got a solid program with his program leaders. And quite frankly, even Steve Pennington, who's the committee chair out there, you'll learn quite a bit from him in terms of from the committee's perspective as well. Definitely get out there and get them going. But what question do you have in terms of the ranger opening the meeting and stuff?
Well, I think primarily was the lesson, like you guys just discussed, the 2.0. I saw the 1.5, some of the older lessons, but I want to be able to give the ranger, we would like to be able to give the ranger the material, hey, we're going to cover these specific areas, and that's all. And I think it sounds like we have the liberty, just as long as we're working through the different branches, and then I think we're going to choose the Worthy Life Award, that track for the faith building. But it sounds like we can just pick and choose
that is
things to put in the lesson. So does it give you, like, if it's a particular, say it's has to do with first aid, those helps guides? I haven't read those a ton, but those are very detailed. Is that correct? For them to achieve all the pins the leaves that they need? Yeah.
Yeah, the helps documents are great in terms of what's available and what what each core requirement or the core objective is supposed to cover. But you are absolutely correct when you say you have quite a lot of leeway in terms of what you want to do. If there's a core objective, and even when the lesson plan comes out, we're not bound by them as troops. We can do anything we want that meets what our requirements for or our expectations for those requirements are. So yeah, like I said, we have quite a bit of leeway.
So,
okay.
So for instance, when you're doing the first aid thing, there's a couple of first aid helps, and one of them is for trauma. And at the 3 different levels, the first level is you need kids to be able to, the youngest guys to be able to call 911 and get help. And they need to be able to say that the first thing they do for, let's say, I'm gonna follow this one, is to be able to identify bleeding. You need to be able to talk to them. What do you guys know what this looks like? And when you would need to call for some help, or what level of help, that kind of thing. And then the next level is you need to be able to control bleeding through application of direct pressure. And the last one really ends up being able to secure a foreign body or able to do some basic splinting or stretcher stuff. You go down into the helps, and it talks about how should you treat someone who's, and it talks about bleeding, treating it through the application of direct pressure, cleaning the wound unless severe bleeding prevents it, holding pressure over a cut to the forehead until the bleeding stops, elevating arms or legs above, the heart, all those kinds of things, stuff that adults really are pretty set up to do.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. Okay, excellent. This is great. Appreciate it.
Yeah,
it lines it out in an organized fashion so that people could check it off as they went to make sure they didn't forget it all.
Got it. Okay. Well, thanks again. We'll see you guys next month.
Awesome. Thank you for joining. Appreciate it.
Thank you very, very much.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right. Good night.
Hey, while I got you two guys on the last thing, my concern is with that Timberline award. That sounds like it's very unclear on how we're going to handle that. Because I've got third-year mountain lions that are pretty close to getting their Timberline award, and that's something I can't tell them to start over again. That's not going to work. So I'm thinking we just run that 1.0 or 1.5 program out for those guys all the way to the end.
You have that option. That's probably how I would do it. Is I would create a hybrid approach where your rising navigators are doing 1.5 and everybody else is doing. I mean, the lesson plans are all going to be quite similar in terms of what you're doing. In fact, if I remember correctly, let's see, leaves are basically just do something that's towards this heritage, something to do with heritage. So if you're running 2.0 lesson plans that have something to do with one of those 7 focuses, you'll very easily be able to credit them with leaves and get them going.
Yeah, I think that's the way I'm going to handle it. I'm just going to run that 1.5 out to the end for those, just for those 5 or 6 trailmen that are in that position.
Right.
All right, gentlemen. Well, I'm going to say goodnight and log off and go find my pillow.
Yeah, you and me both.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks a lot, Tom.
All right. Bye-bye.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, John. Appreciate you joining on.
And I'll see you tomorrow night.
Yep. See you bright and early at it was Coffee Bean, right? Is that where we're going?
Going to Coffee Bean. What did we say? 7? I've got it down here somewhere.
It's in my calendar somewhere. So, yeah. See you tomorrow.
All right.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.